And why is that important? What does that empower you to do?
What that empowers me to do is that I can take what usually would take somebody, let's call it 5 or 10 hours to analyze a deal and assess and think about it and go back and forth and talk to their wife and talk to their friend and go take somebody to lunch that might know. And it takes it into, okay, I have all of these inputs and these are my rules of saying yes or no to a deal. And in 20 minutes, I can decide I can do it.
I want to push forward.
Or I'm not going to do it.
All right, welcome back. I'm Jason.
And I'm Colter.
And this is the Massive and Passive Income Show.
Yeah, excited to be here.
I am excited too. So we want to do a short little episode. There you go. We had a short little episode about processes and systems. And I want you to start this off because you're the master at systems. And so tell us why that's important and then why we need to do it.
Well, first of all, a system is based on redundant tasks that we experience in our business over and over and over again.
It's like a checklist, maybe even.
Yeah, like a checklist. I mean, you're looking at all of the tasks that you take on inside of your business, and anything that you repeat, you want to do it the same way every single time so that it's consistent. And so that consistency allows for you to be, well, consistent, right? Okay, well, that's revolutionary. You're looking at a system, and let's just talk about accounting for a minute, which is a super exciting topic. I'm glad everybody's so engaged. Everybody's moved to the front of their chair, and you're like, oh yeah, let's talk about accounting.
That's right.
If you balanced your checkbook, and we just decided every other time, this is a debit and this is a credit. This is a debit, this is a credit. And how we would do that in balancing our checkbook, it would mess everything up. You would never reconcile with your bank account. You would never have the right amount of cash or the right understanding of where all these checks went and how much money would be coming out of the account, et cetera, et cetera. So just in accounting, they have fundamental processes that need to be followed in order to have checks and balances. And it's the same thing in my real estate deals. I know that every time I see a deal, I'm going to stick 15 inputs inside of one of my spreadsheets, and I'm going to say, what's the purchase price? How much am I putting down? How many units are there? How much are each of those being rented for? What's the depreciation rate? What is the tax rate? What are the property taxes, et cetera, et cetera? Those are my inputs. Every single time I input those into the deal, and I say, can I make money in this deal? And if it isn't returning me a set rate of return on my cash, I say no. And that's my process. And maybe I miss out on a deal here and there, but I know that my process has worked, and it's acquired everything from 1 to 18 deals in a year time frame.
Love that. And why is that important? What does that empower you to do?
What that empowers me to do is that I can take what usually would take somebody, let's call it 5 or 10 hours to analyze a deal and assess and think about it and go back and forth and talk to their wife and talk to their friend and go take somebody to lunch that might know. And it takes it into, okay, I have all of these inputs and these are my rules of saying yes or no to a deal. And in 20 minutes, I can decide I can do it.
I want to push forward.
Or I'm not going to do it.
This is going to be worth pushing forward. And you may still not do that deal, but at least you did enough of the work to say, this is a deal worthy of me putting time into, instead of putting time into a deal and then at the end like, man, I should have never even explored this deal. Yeah. Love that. And that's all from a system, right?
It's all from
a checklist of things you put in there and to help you make a decision faster.
Yeah, and think about all the other businesses that we associate with every single day. Now, I hope you don't eat at McDonald's every single day. That might not be healthy. But if you do, you can go in there and you can see what their kitchen looks like. And it's consistent with processes. Just about every single other McDonald's from Taiwan to Blackfoot, Idaho.
Yeah.
And the reason that business model works is because they know how to flip hamburgers the same way every single time, and it's going to taste like a Big Mac, and it's going
consistency.
It's going to end up in that wrapper the same way, and it's going to be the consistent experience that you're looking for. Whether you're in Taiwan or Singapore or right here in good old Idaho.
Yeah.
And that right there is what you should be mimicking inside of your business to be able to create something that is repeatable. And you can hand the reins off to somebody, whether that's passing it down to your kids or it's selling the business at the end of your your stint in the business, at the end of this, we're trying to create value in something that can be handed off to whoever's going to take the reins next.
Yeah, love that. So systems, processes can help you make not only decisions faster, easier, but also make you so you can be more successful, I would say. Don't you think?
Yeah.
By systems, processes, and then being consistent with those systems and processes. It's like whenever I go buy a house at auction, I always have my threshold of where I'll go. If I go there with extra money, guess what? I'm going to spend the extra money. But if I go there with the amount of money that the most I'm going to be able to spend on that property, then if it goes over that part, then I bail out. And like you said, sometimes I may miss out on a deal. But as long as I stay consistent, I've got deals that make sense. I never overpay for a deal.
Yeah.
So it's the same way. Systems, processes, and then once you get those system processes together, be consistent with them.
Well, and I have to share a process that I introduced to my 7-year-old last night. She pulled a couple of dollars out of her little purse, and she says, "I'm going to go to Friday Snacks Day, and I'm going to buy something." And I said, "Oh, that's great. So what are you going to buy?" She's like, "I don't know, but I'm going to buy something." And I said, "Okay. So what's going to make your decision, a good experience for you? Like, what's going to make it so that you want to exchange those $2 that you worked really hard for, and you're going to get excited about what you're buying?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I don't know." I'm like, "So what is it? What at Snack Day do you think that you really like?" She's like, "Okay, well, Sweet Tarts and Nerds. If I see Sweet Tarts and Nerds, I'm buying the Sweet Tarts or the Nerds." And that would be more fulfilling for me to spend on Sweet Tarts and Nerds or to hold on to the $2 in my little purse, right? And so that right there is me helping my 7-year-old daughter go through a process of, is this value exchange of my hard-earned dollars worth the
payoff.
Sweet Tarts and the Nerds, the payoff, and the sweet and Friday Sweet Snack Day, is that the exchange that I'm looking for? And we need to be able to, and maybe you think I'm crazy to be able to teach my daughter that way of like how to spend money.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, we have to put those rules and those processes in place for ourselves so that when we go into that compulsive buying situation, look, I love real estate, but I have to fall in love with the numbers before I fall in love with the property. Otherwise, I'm going to buy all the property there is because I like it.
Yeah.
And I want more of it. So we'll let Ryan put a little jingle in there, the like it, love it, wants more of it.
There you go. That's awesome.
But at the end of the day, these processes, systems, structures, we are just trying to do it like other businesses so that it's consistent and we can accomplish what we want.
And we have the best chance of success.
Yes. And success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get.
Love that. Love that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. That's it for today.
Glad to be here.